Many writers have dared to capture the thrill of an African safari. From Frederick Courtney Selous to Wilbur Smith, they've inspired us to seek adventure of a great transcontinental journey with nothing more than a good rifle and our own wits. Of those writers, Peter Hathway Capstick is often hailed as the literary heir to Robert Rourke and Ernest Hemingway. He brought the vitality of the African big game hunting to life with his unique combination of gritty realism, dry wit, and lyrical prose. Now, Capstick was born in New Jersey in 1940 and raised in an environment far removed from the African veld that would later dominate his life and work. A graduate of the University of Virginia, Capstick initially pursued a successful career as a Wall Street stockbroker. But inspired by the writings of Wild Africa, he abandoned the security of his corporate life in the pursuit of adventure. He first traveled through Latin America, but eventually found his way to Africa, the continent that would become the canvas for his life's work. In Africa, he worked as a professional hunter, a game ranger, and a safari guide, acquiring first-hand knowledge of the bush, its people, and its dangers. This experience, combined with his keen intellect and his innate gift for storytelling, formed the foundation of his literary career. In 1977, Capstick's inaugural book was published, Death in the Long Grass. Not only is it one of my personal favorites, it defined modern safari literature. It's not a conventional hunting memoir, rather a collection of harrowing tales about the deadliest animals in Africa. Lions, leopards, buffalo, elephants, and crocodiles, and told with visceral detail and a clear respect for each and every animal involved. Capstick's uncanny ability to make the reader feel the hot breath of a charging lion or the eerie silence before the leopard attack made his work more than mere hunting lore. It became literature. Death in the Long Grass was followed by several other successful titles, including Death in Silent Places, Death in the Dark Continent, Safari: The Last Adventure, and The Last Ivory Hunter, just to name a few. Each book blended anecdotes with historical accounts and technical details about firearms and stalking techniques, and all set within the elaborate descriptions of the African landscapes and their cultures. Quite possibly, Capstick's most significant contribution to the literary world is his revival of the safari writing during a time when the genre was in decline. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, the golden age of the African safari had faded. The days of guiding wealthy clients across colonial Africa was nearly obsolete. Conservation efforts, political changes, and the shifting public attitudes towards hunting meant that the romantic image of the great white hunter was increasingly out of step with modern values. Yet Capstick managed to navigate this changing landscape by writing with a blend of nostalgia and ultra-realism. He didn't shy away from the dangers, the blood, the ethical quandaries, and the brutal reality of life and death. He brought attention to the skill and courage of the professional hunters and native trackers, while also criticizing the incompetence and recklessness among would-be adventurers. Capstick blew on the embers of old Africa, while acknowledging the complexities and moral ambiguities of his profession. Capstick also played an important role in preserving stories of African hunting legends like Wally Johnson, Harry Selby, and Panduro Taylor. Great figures who might otherwise have been forgotten as the era of great safaris was fading. His biographical work and his interviews helped place these men in the annals of African hunting history. His influence extended beyond books. As a spokesman for hunting gear, Ruger firearms, and he appeared on several outdoor television programs. By doing this, he helped to popularize hunting culture during a time when it faced increasing scrutiny. For many, he became the public face of the modern professional hunter, an adventurer with both charm and credibility. These two arms were the personal hunting guns of Peter Capstick, and each has wonderful history. This Winchester 1200 shotgun is described in Capstick's book, Safari: The Last Adventure, as the perfect gun for Africa. It was used from everything from dispatching leopards to hyena to game birds. It sports a single bead front sight on a matted vent rib. Standard markings adorn it. It has multiple wind chokes with it, and is chambered in 2 3/4. You can almost see Capstick stalking through the tall grass, taking snapshots at marauding leopards and dispatching nuisance hyenas. This gun is more than the sum of its parts. It's a manifestation of hunting memory. In addition, letters from Capstick's wife, Fiona Claire Capstick, authenticating this gun as Peter's, as well as stating that this gun was mentioned in his book Death in a Lonely Land and Lamar Underwood's The Greatest Hunting Stories Ever Told. This exquisite engraved Musgrave bolt gun is chambered in .375 H&H and is the last dangerous game gun of Peter Hathway Capstick. Made in 1989 by Musgrave of South Africa, it was used on Capstick's last dangerous game hunt, subsequently dispatching the last elephant shot before Southwest Africa became the Republic of Namibia. That elephant's hide was made into the elegant slipcase that accompanies this rifle. Musgrave rifles were in their heyday at this time, producing sporting arms with amazing quality and value. In Capstick's final book, Sands of Silence, on safari in Namibia, he gushes over this rifle. He states, "When it was finished, I have never seen a prettier or more functional rifle. I've owned custom guns before, but nobody ever put one together like Musgrave did." The rifle is marked with Peter Hathway Capstick along with the caliber designation and the serial number, NR PHC-1, all in silver. A fitting touch for an accomplished writer. The octagon barrels with a full-length rib feature an integrated beaded blade front sight and a fixed notch rear, and it is topped with a beautiful Schmidt & Bender scope. It displays attractive light floral scroll engraving across much of the rifle's surface, and it also comes with documentation from Capstick's wife. Capstick occupies a unique place in the history of safari literature. He was not the first to write about Africa's wild places, nor was he the most experienced hunter, but he was arguably one of the most compelling voices to ever write about Africa. His books rekindled an interest in the fading tradition, introducing new readers to the thrills and perils of African hunting, and offered a gritty, poetic, and deeply personal vision of the bush. This December, embark on an adventure. Come to the Castle of Collecting and experience the history. Shoulder the guns of one of the most celebrated authors of the safari, Peter Capstick.